Hello. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Ebby with Ebby Reviews. We're back. We're back for episode 2 of Archive 81. I'm hooked. I'm in. Like I said, when the demon showed up, that would have been my cue to leave, but we here now. I can't leave my brother here alone. So we gonna figure out what's happening and what's going on. Let's get into it. I was so thrown off because this episode started with a DNA ancestry, like ancestry DNA type commercial for some place called Wellspring. I thought I was watching the wrong thing. Hmm. What the Black Mirror is happening here? All right, I'm in. Let's go. Let's see what's happening. I am kind of suspicious of this best friend and how he reacts to everything that he's being told. He's too eerily calm about what's happening. And his follow up questions lead me to believe he may already know and be in on whatever's happening. I don't trust it. I don't trust that friend. Something about that friend is off. Something about the friend is off. Okay, so we back in the building with Melody and Jessica. Well, Jess, the baby girl. And um she's following Jess around as she drops off her orders with the neighbors that she's doing, that she's errands that she's running. There's this older lady who she sees at the elevator, and she gives her stuff, and then she says, "Oh, Jess, it's been so long. Come up for tea this afternoon." And she was like, she introduces her to Melody and tell her what she's doing there, and ask her can she interview her. And the lady gives her, like the European kiss on two cheeks, but it's really like she's trying to sense her energy. And then there's like a little staticky situation happening, and she walks away without answering. So Jess says, "I'll work on her." And then um, we meet this Latina neighbor, and she was like, "Come in and I'll do a reading for you." And she says, "I moved here from San Juan. I was living here with my cousin or something, my cousin Alicia, and she ran off with some rockhead plumber, and I inherited her lease and the goldfish." And so she does a reading, and she said, "Oh, did you have pain in your trauma as a child?" And she said, "There's someone here in the middle. There's a light. You're looking for someone." And she was like, "Yeah, there's this historian um, who did some work back in the 70s, and this was her last known address, and I was just trying to figure out if she was still here or what happened to her." Her name was Julia Bennett, and she was like, "There's this lady who keeps an apartment on the fourth floor." She said, "4G. We haven't seen her in years, but her mailbox is always bursting at the seams." I think Julia Bennett is her mama. I think that's who she's looking for. I honestly believe Julia Bennett is her mama, and they got her in this building like on cult status, paranormal activity type stuff. That's what I'm getting. That is what I'm getting from this whole situation. And then the Latin lady was like, "There's many strange residents in this building, and some of them have a sex club, and they meet down in the community building after dark, and I can hear them all the way up here moaning." Rutro raggy. So the third card said her past was pain and trauma. The middle card was she was looking for someone, and the last card was death. And she's like, "Oh, don't take it serious. Literally, it could mean a lot of things." So, okay, I have a feeling things are about to go left. Just give me a second. So she is at the mailbox trying to pull a piece of mail that's half hanging out of the lady's mailbox to try and get a name off the mail to see who's the resident in 4G. When one of the neighbors, a guy, with the guy with the white hair, he was like, "That's a $2,000 fine," just so you know. And she was like, "Oh, I just he was like, "Don't calm down. I'm not the mail police." Um, And so, um, he says to her, you know, do you listen to music? Do you listen to opera? My friend is putting on the first act of her opera, and I'm trying to rally an audience because it's not very good at Sanctuary. And the first neighbor that she talked to was that girl Tamara who performs at the Sanctuary her opera. So I'm assuming it's her opera that they're going to be with that same catchy tune. So we gonna see. I feel like this is how they draw them in. There's something in the music in the opera, some chant that I don't know. Something is going on. We'll see. We'll see. Now I'm trying not to make this as long as the other one was yesterday, but it's a lot happening. So okay, so he um when baby girl was getting dressed, she was listening to her voice messages, and she had a voicemail from his dad. Apparently, his dad was her doctor at NYU. That's why he knew her. That's why he was there at that in the videotape because they was gonna take her to the nut house, and she was his doctor. He was her doctor. So he calls back to the friend and leaves a message. It says, "My dad was her doctor at NYU. Check his patient's files and see if she's in there." Um, then, as he's talking, and he couldn't find his tie on the tree, he is gone. So he had gotten a ladder and climbed. There was like an outhouse building out there in the woods, and so he climbed up the outhouse ladder. He found a ladder, and climbed up there. Okay. So he climbed up the ladder and got to the so he can make a phone call. Um, then as he's up there talking, he sees somebody in a red jacket on the property. So he comes down and he runs over, and then the person disappears. So he goes in the house to get a beer, and he opens the drawer. The mouse is in the drawer. I'm telling you, me and the mouse is not friends. Once him and the mouse get settled, he's watching a movie. He's sitting there, and then all of a sudden, he sees his dad is the person standing in the living room with him in that red jacket, and he's mouthing something, but he can't really hear what's being said. And then the daddy walks away. So you mean to tell me you sitting in this house in the woods by yourself with a rat, and you see the ghost of your dead daddy, and you okay? But then he called the CEO, and he was like, "Is he where? I need to speak to him." And she's like, "Well, he's not. He's in the field. Can I get a message?" And she's like, "What does that mean? He's in the field. Can I take a message?" And he was like, "I need him to call me back." He's like, "Is there anyone else here on the property?" She's like, "Are you in mental distress?" Um, why would that be your question? I asked you, is there anybody else on the property? You say, are you in mental distress? Because if 2 plus 2 is 4, and 5 plus 5 is 10, how the fuck do you think those questions correlate? Y'all, I want some crumble cookies and I think a drink from Starbucks. I don't know where that came from, but we're in day 4 of the hostage situation. And I think that's what I need in my life. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it just came over me all of a sudden. I'm gonna do that now. So then he, if that ain't an ADHD OCD moment, I don't know what is. Child. So the baby sees his daddy, and then he walks out into the hallway, and then he looks down both hallways and don't see him. Then all of a sudden you see footsteps, and he sees his daddy walk past down at the end of the hall in that red jacket. I don't know, something's going. I don't know if this baby is in mental distress. I don't know if they playing with his mind. I don't know if these are demons. I don't know. Something is going on. But you know what I would know? It wouldn't be happening to me. Nope. Okay, so they go to the opera. It's boring. It's really a chance for the man to hit on her. They get along. He gives her the skeleton key for the mailbox. She opens it. It's empty. Um, so she could tell who is in the mailbox. Um, the little girl said, "Hey, there's somebody here looking for you, loud, knocking on everybody's doors." Um, and it was her best friend, and she was like, um, "Jess, why did you give Doctor what's the man Dan's dad, Doctor Turner, my phone number?" She's like, "Cause he's your therapist." She's like, "Oh my God, are you fucking the doctor? Are you pregnant with his baby? Is this your time of confinement?" I have one of those friends who just say anything and everything. And so she's like, "No." And so the guy had gone to get some liquor for them because they was going to do grown people business, and the friend cock blocked it. Unfortunately, the guy seemed kind of salty because he wouldn't get none. So we gonna see. Did she have sex with the doctor? Is that what she is? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I had to stop because so much shit happened. So, after the roommate left, we flipped back to Dan. Um, he's trying to figure out what the hell is going on. This baby done took. He was going. First of all, the rat is taking over the house. Like I don't. I'm not gonna even upset myself with the rat. So he's in the kitchen and he's gonna go clean up the mess from the rat. And for something when he pulled the broom down, he realized that the wall behind it was hollow. This baby pulled a jack from the shine and went through the wall with a big ass monkey wrench. And on the other side, it's a building on the other side of the building that he's living in. And in one place, it's a sanctuary, like it used to be a church. It's giving me very paranormal activity situations and circumstances. So once he gets in there and he sees initials carved into the back of one of the pews, TB plus AF. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I'm sure that's going to come back. We'll come back to that. All of a sudden, his boss is behind him. And he's talking to his boss. And he says, and he's like, what do you, he's like, what does this used to be? He started talking about his family was never had a good relationship with religion and blah, blah, blah. And then he says he really believes in privacy and went before. He's like, back in the day, he owned a company, a DNA, find your DNA, find your family company. And he's like, before all the big ones got in it. And he said, and then when the um government decided they wanted to get their mitts on the information, I shut it down. So he starts telling the boy, he's like, I didn't want to get your hopes up. That's why I didn't tell you that your dad was her doctor at NYU. And he's like, I didn't want to get you upset, because they've said that their father may have had a breakdown and he's the one that set the fire at your house. And Dan was like, um, the fire was an accident. That's what's on the official record. And now he's telling him something about they opened an investigation into his father before the incident. Chad, where we going? I'm scared. Where we going? All of this is I know all of this is connected. I know all of this is connected. I'm trying to connect the dots and not get lost. Now he done told this young man that the area where all that people's DNA information is off limits from here on out. They got cameras everywhere. Don't go over there. And then he's like, you don't have to be stuck. He's like, if it's truth is too painful and you can't do this, you don't have to. You can go back to the city. And he was like, and he's like, I need this done as soon as possible. And there's a bonus for an accelerated timeline. He said, you don't have to be cooped up in this house. I know there's not a car, but there's a couple bikes around here. And he want him to bike 14 miles to get a cup of coffee. Nigga, if you don't give me some internet so I can Instacart some Starbucks, you don't lost your dick. Amen. All right, so he done left the little boy back at the house. So we gon' child. You wouldn't have left me. Scoot over in that car. I'm out. Okay, so we back at Melody POV, and she wakes up at night because she hears this chanting again. So she wakes her friend up. She tries to wake her friend up and says, "Do you hear that? Do you hear that?" She goes down to the community room. Jesus. She goes down to the community room, and everybody is sitting there in front of this statue, and they're all together at the same time. And then they stop. I don't know. I guess the whatever it was over. It's really weird. Like that was really weird. I don't know what the hell, what kind of ritual that was, but it was really weird. Huh. All right. Well, all right. Not her like peering in and then almost getting caught, so she hides in the closet. And while she's hiding in the closet, the dude that she had kind of gone on a date with and the opera lady have sex, wild monster sex, while she's like hiding in the closet, listening to them, and then she has to wait until they're done and then sneak her way back to her apartment. And her friend is like, whoa, where you been? You been out stalking? You been out with the hot dude? No, she has not. No, she has not. Jesus. I would just like the record to reflect that I was correct, that Julia Bennett is her birth mother. They try to throw us off with that, oh, my mother bought me this camera. But no, Julia Bennett is her birth mother, and that's why she's there looking for her. Because when her friend was like, because there was she told her friend what happened, but then there was like a knock at the door, and there was nobody at the door. And she was like, well, we can just get the fuck out. We don't have to stay here. And she's like, no, I can't, because I have to, it's about my mother. And she was like, what do you mean? Your mother, I'm sure, wouldn't care. You can find something else to do for your dissertation. And she was like, no, my birth mother is Julia Bennett, and this is the last place she was, and she was looking for me. So now I'm looking for her and trying to figure out what happened to her. Now this baby Dan done got on this bike. I don't know where he go on this bike, child. I wish the hell I would bike 14. Child. As fat as I listen, I'm a bike far enough to get some reception to get me a Uber. No ma'am. No ham, no turkey. She not dead? What? Okay, so he got on the bike to drive the 14 miles to meet the best friend. I don't care what you said. The best friend seems real mad sketchy to me. He seems mad sketchy to me. But he's like, I went to your aunt's house. I didn't find any files on Melody, but did you know your dad recorded his sessions? I brought you all the tapes that said impendress on it. He's like, do you think Melody filed the complaint against your dad? You think something was going on between the two of them? He's like, I don't know, but we'll find out. He's like, maybe you can ask her yourself. She's like, what do you mean? He's like, she didn't die in the fire. She's alive and well in Pittsburgh, so maybe you can go ask her. What? Confusion is my name. Also, they can't find anything on the LMG company and Wellspring having a connection. So maybe he said it's an offshoot of an offshoot of an offshoot, because, corporations have they have degrees of separation depending on what it is. So you never know who the parent company is. But I can't believe the little girl ain't dead. Damn it, that's how the episode ended. Okay, so listen, I'm all in. Have you seen it? What do you think? Are you shocked that the girl is not dead? I think that he's going to go see her next week. Tomorrow. We're going to watch episode 3 tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow because I'm in. I'm totally in. All right. So, review of Archive 81. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a kid, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.